Hello, my name's Dan Swain, and today we're going to be talking about the third of the solid principles, the Liskov substitution principle, as coined by Barbara Liskov, no less. Principle. There we go. So what she basically says is that if S is a subtype of T, then objects of type T may be replaced with objects of type S, the subtype. And Barbara Liskov is normally associated with like strongly typed languages and sort of inheritance. But imagine in the real world, imagine if a Tesla is a subtype of a car, a little drawing of a car here, then I should be able to drive, and drive is a method or an operation on the car, a Tesla. Because a Tesla is a car, it inherits from it, therefore it should work. In dynamic languages, just to be more inclusive, we have duck typing, a little duck, famously, that is a duck, honestly. If something walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. And what we basically mean here is that as long as it's got the methods that we expect of that type, then we can consider it that of that type. So our car, it has a drive method with a steering wheel to represent that. So you could imagine you have an iCar and a drive method, and imagine you also have a gear shift up method, just to be a bit fancy. Now Ford and Vauxhalls, they're both petrol cars, they can implement these quite happily and everything will work fine. And then we've got our car again, and we've got our drive method, and we've got our shift gear up method. And if we go back to our Tesla example, that's a cool looking Tesla. Our Tesla can definitely implement drive, but shift gear up is going to have a problem with, because it's an electric car and it doesn't have a gear stick. So shift gear up is a problem. That's a gear stick drawing. What we could do is we could throw an exception, but then that wouldn't be very helpful to our users, because Liskov says that we should be able to replace the base type with a subtype, and our subtype here would throw an exception, and therefore it would violate the OCP principle, or open close principle. We could also shift gear up and do absolutely nothing, and it would probably work fine on your machine, but there'd probably be some latent hidden issue. The engine revs property of the car may not be represented correctly, because electric cars are different. So what we could conclude in this example is saying a Tesla is not a car. Not a car as defined by the drive method and the gear shift up method, but it is still a car in the real world. So what we're saying is that my little drawing of a car here is not really a car, it's just a representation of a car. So Liskov says that you should be able to substitute one type, a subtype, for its base type basically. But we need to realize that we don't model the world perfectly. We can't violate the open close principle. So although it's very powerful, you need to realize that sometimes it just doesn't work and you have to remodel your application. Thanks a lot. That's it really.